Hello, everybody. I am Sun Psychic Jean, and please welcome my very special guest today. Co-host actually is Val from Dragonfly Crystals. Hi, Val.
Hi, Jean. It's good to be here. I'm excited for this show. I think it's going to be really um, pertinent information you can use in your everyday life in a way in which it will enrich and enhance everything. So
Oh,
stay tuned for that, everyone.
I love it. I love it. And thank you very much. And Val was really taken back by the splendor of color and nature and just the vitality that these flowers and plants and the beauty of it all and the significance of it being a creation of nature. Um,
Mhm.
and the color has a vibration, Val. I'm telling you, color comes into me and introduces itself, invites me, pulls me, and says, I have something
Exactly.
to show you.
Exactly. And you're right, because when I am in meditation and all these colors and frequencies are coming in, like violet or something like that, I'm feeling the beauty of it's like a flavor, it's an energy frequency that holds information for me. And I feel what that feels like, which is pretty amazing. So I'm just going to say, when you're in meditation, run colors, bring in the blues, bring in the oranges, the yellow, whatever color that you want to, stream it down through your crown and into Mother Earth, because those are energy frequencies that can help you, like yellow with curiosity and orange with vibrant will to get up and do things, and green for that healing heart energy and that healing energy, or the throat, if you want to communicate really from your will to do good in the world, that blue. So yeah, colors
Beautiful.
colors are
Beautiful. I
powerful.
do use it in my meditation a lot,
Yeah,
and it is a vibration and frequency that is harmonizing me and allowing me to harmonize with it, as so that I can raise my vibration, so that when I reach my council or my spirit team, I am at a higher vibrational or higher state of awareness, so I can listen to those the beings on that wavelength or on that
mhm,
vibration.
yeah,
Um, it's really a beautiful uh, tool to utilize, and it just reminding me of this because of all of the background. And it's not only the purple of the flowers, but it's the blue of the leaves, and it's the contrast of the two. It's so beautiful.
it
So
is a striking contrast. It just vibrates off the page. It is a vibe. And even in pictures, folks, that is a vibration shooting off. So the artwork you have in your home, the coloring of it coming into your room, um, to be cognizant of that. And I think feng shui has a lot of good tips about that, to get you mindful about what are you putting on your walls, what is that vibrating out. So yeah,
yeah, it does help to raise the vibration of your surroundings and
it
your home.
does.
Very much so. I believe that. And I did a show, just to remind everybody, I did a show with Daphne on flower essences last night. And I had this background up and I said, Val, do you want me to change it? She's like, no, no, leave it. I love it. I love it.
I
But
love it.
that's why we had the background for Daphne. It was a really powerful show if anybody is
I'm going to
interested.
go watch it after this.
It's very informative. So I just want to say hello to Laura Hammond Davis, Amanda Carroll, Julie Hamill, Tanita, Jessica Lynn, Play Love Remember. Everybody is so very dedicated. We really appreciate all of your support. Jessica Lynn and Coyote Rosenbaum. Hi, Coyote. Thanks for being here. And fellow tatters, Donna Marie is here. Oh, and she loves the flowers too. And very nice, very nice. Yeah, Amanda said she loved the show. Very nice. Uh,
Good.
oh, okay. So there's a lavender field in Utah that she says
Oh,
is very beautiful too. Yeah, it is important to tune into what it is that that we're feeling a frequency of vibration or just something that shifts us, or that, lifts our spirit in some way. It's a very subtle nuance, but it's important to pay attention to these things. Um, yeah.
Absolutely. And I think it's great to resensitize yourself as you're connecting to these colors or beautiful flowers or whatever it is that catches your eye that you're attracted to. And even things that come into your awareness that you're daydreaming about. These are things that are going to shift your energy just by focusing on them for a few moments and really sensitize yourself to what that feels like to have that energy flowing in. And you will notice, wow, there is a dramatic change in your frequency from that, just like these flowers. That's like, ooh, that's a whole bunch of yummy energy that we have as a background here. Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's all available to us. And I think more and more now that the frequency and vibration on Earth and in and around humanity is changing and shifting and evolving. All of these things are becoming more available to us, and more people are turning on or being more aware of their abilities or different spiritual um, experiences happening to them. And it's all raising our vibration. It's all becoming aware of who we truly are. And it's not only you and it's not only me, it is happening across the world. I have to let you know.
yes, it is happening to everyone, even those who are uninitiated in the spiritual realm. It is just, oh wow, I was here. You can see it on TikTok or YouTube where these strange anomalies happen and somebody says, well, I was here and then suddenly I was somewhere else. It's just an
Wow.
average person going, what just happened? Uh, these things are happening to everyone. And it just is. It's not like you have to be doing chanting Om for 2 hours a day. It's just going to shift all of us, and it is. So it's a good thing to have a heads up. So I like everything that we talked backstage, the Sunpsychic Gene and I, about some things that are great to be aware of as you progress and move through this life that can help you look at everything from a really helpful perspective that keeps your energy high and keeps you embracing every now moment. And yeah.
Yep. And I just did a show with Allie earlier today, and we were talking about authenticity and really got into that nitty gritty about being kind to yourself and giving yourself grace and
Mhm.
allowing yourself to be courageous enough to express your true essence. And, there are times and places we can do this, but it's really the benefit of expressing our true essence is we are at a certain vibration when we're
Mhm.
at our true essence, and when we are our authentic self, we are expressing our soul's vibration, our divine essence.
Mhm.
And this allows us to be in the flow when we're our true self, and it allows things to come into our lives that assist us when we are our true selves. If we're resisting and not and trying to fit in or conform or not show ourselves, it does not allow the energy of the universe to work with us. But the more and more authentic we are, which I think
Yeah.
I'm preaching to the choir here, I know that it allows us to go in that energy flow, that frequency flow.
Yeah, because when you're not in the flow, you're in restriction. Restriction doesn't allow those good things to keep flowing to you. And that's why we want to stay open and flowing with everything. As seeing the things in your life as gifts coming in and you're learning from them and growing, gives you that flow, keeps that flow going, keeps you open to allowing and accepting things in that you are experiencing. You don't have to make yourself attached to everything. in other words, that detachment of you being and this divine source being projecting down into your avatar keeps you understanding that everything's flowing in front of you for a reason, and you're just an observer, observing it and letting it flow, observing it and letting it flow. That's easy to say, I know, when something happens in your life, like a loved one passing or crossing over. These are the bumps that can kind of rattle us the most. But from a higher perspective, we all are here for a certain amount of time, and then we transition to back to our natural state. So everything has a truth, everything has the light and a reason, and it all makes sense when you look at it not from the human pain standpoint. Which
So, do you mean the perspective, Val? I have a little bit of visual aids to
I love
help everybody along. So
it.
I'm going to go ahead and pop this up, Val.
This is perfect. This is perfect. I love, these are things that I think everyone should have sitting in front of their computer or, in their purse, on their mirror every day, because everything is an opportunity. Everything is something that is a gift. If you're in the flow and you keep allowing that divine source flow to happen, you're going to look at things. So go ahead and go through these.
It's also that it's an overall saying is life is happening for us, not to us.
Exactly.
It's not, it's really for us. And this helps us to remember that. And sometimes we think, oh, this is happening to me. Oh, why did that happen to me? Why does that always happen to me? It's happening for us. Where is the lesson? And when we say it's for us and where is the lesson, it brings us up into that higher perspective and that objective or observer role, and allows us to examine the situation as where's the lesson? What could this be for me? What could I possibly have gained or learned from this? And it's not easy and it's not instantaneous, but it's a way of shifting your focus. And it's very powerful. And once you get used to doing it, do it with the little things. Do it with, if you want to have tuna or if you want to have, soup for lunch, whatever it is, try and find something that it's the smaller things, the smaller choices, the smaller habit. Why did I drop that egg? I dropped that egg on the floor, all over the floor, and it was the last egg. Why did that happen to me? Or you say, oh, I was so stupid or whatever. You don't say that to yourself. First of all, you say accidents happen. When you crack an egg and it's your last egg, what is it that I need to learn from this? Or what's the larger meaning? And I know that you're like, Jean, you're talking about an egg, but I'm just saying it'll keep you in that practice of saying, oh, something happened and it didn't happen to me. It happened for me.
Exactly. That's so important. Yeah, I love that. And I love that obstacles are opportunities. And yeah, Risa's saying, I said, I'm jumping obstacles right now. Yeah, you're moving through them. I like that you say that out loud, because obstacles really are the opportunities. And what's on the other side of that obstacle? That is a whole open level, next level of what's coming in, a whole nother perspective, a whole nother opportunity to see new doorways open. Always on the other side of any of these things are more doorways to level up and see a bigger perspective. So there are always gifts to be had in many ways, shapes, and forms from obstacles, seeing them as opportunities.
And it's important to remember that not everybody is ready for all of these thoughts or practices right away. And some of these things are really hard and may be challenging for us to consider. But with practice and with reminding, it does trigger something inside of us, or activates something inside of us. See how I did that? Activate, trigger. It activates something that allows us to look at things differently. And these are really quick instant suggestions. When we make a mistake, oh, it's a master class of why that egg cracked, and what, it's a mess. It's teaching us something. Fears
Yeah,
are reasons to be courageous, opportunities to be courageous. Pain is, what is the purpose? Why is this? There's a purpose here for this.
yeah,
And setbacks. A lot of people say, I'm stuck. I'm blocked. It's a stepping
mhm.
stone. It's a new way of readjusting, or taking a different look at what we're doing, so that maybe if there's something stopping us, maybe we can take a different approach to things.
Absolutely,
Um,
absolutely. And I always say, when you're having a setback, you're really gearing up to go even bigger, to take a giant leap forward, but you just don't know it. So there's all these things that, from a different perspective, are actually great things. And I love rejection being resilience, because what we are here to do is to allow everything to flow. And when we're having rejections, whether it's going for a job interview and not getting the job, or being fired from a job, or being in relationship, and or unrequited love, whatever that rejection may be, that allows you to see that life goes on, and you are whole and embody the light all on your own. And those who come into your field are those you are going meant to have those beautiful soul relationships with. It allows you to say, oh, there's something better coming along for me then. Standing in that beautiful power of who you actually are, without needing someone to entertain you or keep you busy, or
Mhm.
or
And no
whatever that
taking
would
it so personally. If you have
be.
no, you didn't get this job, no, you didn't get
Yeah,
that job, don't take it personally. Be resilient, and to know, and to trust, and to believe. There's a belief and a trust that falls into this as well, that everything is working out in my favor, and everything, the universe is working in my favor. There's another saying, I can't grab it right now, but is consorting into my favor. I don't know what that is,
mhm.
but and eh, and to consider, you know, looking at it in a different way. And what
Conspiring for you.
inspiring.
It just came in.
That the universe is conspiring in my favor. And what it
Yeah.
does is it takes away that negative emotional charge of blame, of shame, of being faulty, or being less than. It takes away that negative charge, and it gives you a different way of looking at it. But we've been conditioned, or programmed, or it has been taught in society for the last 100 years to look at things as struggles or obstacles, because that's the language that they knew. That's what they used in order to get ahead. But it's important now that we understand that everything is energy, everything is frequency, and the way that we phrase things or look at things makes a huge difference in the energy that's around it. So that when we come up to an obstacle, we can look at them as opportunities, and it lifts us. Doesn't it just lift you? It's
It
it's
does,
an opportunity.
and it also, all of a sudden, you start seeing possibilities of things to get over those obstacles. That it's not really an obstacle; it's just something. You either choose that, or you go look at something else. So you see certain possibilities coming before you when you start. So that's why it's opportunities. You see new opportunities instead of an obstacle. You see the new route to take. You see a different route to take. You see you see ways to move through it with a practice, ease, and grace over time, where you are able to accomplish what you want to, maybe even in a better way, because you hadn't looked at the different things you could do. Instead of trying to get over that obstacle, it may be a different way to take entirely, which suits you
Mhm.
even better. So,
And I think it's important to remember that it's 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 a suggestion, offering
yeah.
a new perspective, a
Mhm.
different way of looking at it. And a lot of those aha moments are, I've never looked at it like that before, because we have ingrained or a habit or an example in our family that that's the way it's always been, and my mother's always done it, my grandmother's always done it. And one of my favorite little stories is there was a family having like Easter dinner, and they were having it at the granddaughter was having the holiday for the first time, and her mother was helping her, and the granddaughter says, "Mom, uh, help me cut the end off this ham." And she goes, why did you and grandmother always cut the end off the ham? Does it make it taste better? Does it make it cook faster? Does it make it sweeter? Why does you and grandmother always cut off the end of the ham? And the mother's like, I don't know. I always did that. And she went out to the dining room where the grandmother was sitting, and she says, Grandmother, why is it that you always cut off the end of your ham? And I always do it too. And the grandmother was like, What? She's like, Oh, that's the only size pan I had. It wouldn't fit unless I cut it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, if you're looking at an enculturated or maybe a family theme, or let's just say we do things that we're taught from the time we are little, but we don't even look at, is that something we actually want? Why do we even do that? So there's so many things that are like a record groove that we're in, and it just plays on autopilot. When cut the ham off, we don't know. We're just doing it. We don't even question why, because it's been ingrained like that groove of a record. And we can get out of those grooves and think for ourselves. And it just takes that time to stop and be the observer and say, wait, there's another way. There's another perspective. There's something else to look at here. Pausing as the observer and looking, so many opportunities present themselves in all the different areas of your life, whatever's coming up. And it just takes that, taking a few deep breaths, get in that observation or mode, or that non-judgmental mode, and you can see again. You can see above the fray.
Yeah, and it's that information superhighway that we all have at our fingertips now that make it so accessible, and it invites it into our lives, and watching these shows as well opens up our minds. And not everything is going to resonate with you, but maybe one thing might, and that's all that we are inviting you to consider. We're not saying that you have to believe, or that you have to understand, or that you have to adopt this. It's just consider what the possibility is of if something should happen. If you just took a minute and said, why is this what is this trying to teach me? What is the lesson in what just happened? What can I learn from this? And it really does help you move through the situation quicker. It reduces the emotional charge, the negative emotional charge, and it allows you to rise above. And it saves you fret. It saves you energy of worry and condemning yourself and blaming yourself. I mean, there's a whole, time is
What's
moving so
wrong
much
with you? What
faster.
did I do wrong? All those conversations you have with yourself for any of those categories that Sun Psychic Jean had up there, all of you, these are all things that once you really step back and take a look at it all, you might blame, shame yourself. Who knows what you'll do with the ego mind. So yeah, being in that observation mode is a superpower that as we use that muscle, it becomes very powerful, and that we almost automatically go to observer mode instead of reactive mode. In reactive mode, we lose our energy. We feel less than, we feel diminished. And in our observer mode, we feel empowered and enlightened and able to see the broader picture of everything. So yeah, it's
I think
definitely.
that's key. It brings empowerment. It really does bring empowerment. And I don't want. It's something that once we begin to use it, we'll feel like it's being forced. Like, am I forcing myself to look at it as an opportunity? It doesn't really feel like an opportunity yet. But when you start doing this a little bit more and more, you'll say, "Oh, I that now I see what something else came in really quick after that job said no, and because I was looking at it differently. You'll see the your perspective and your observation on a certain situation moves things a little faster and a little with a little more ease, a little more speed, because that's why they're there, is to teach us lessons. The sooner we can teach it, learn the lesson, and move past that feeling. And they've always said, humanity carries so much burden and so much guilt and so much baggage with them that they scream down at us, lighten up.
Exactly.
It's a lesson, not a life sentence. Like we carry, if we had a car accident at 16, we carry that through our whole lives.
Yeah.
And it's just not necessary. It was just there for a moment. But we're moving through this. The energies are allowing us to do this. And I do feel as though it has to do with the information highway as well. So
It does.
are you ready to move on to the next one? I
Yeah,
have
sure. Yep.
another little visual aid here.
Love that. Yeah.
And this is the laws of detachment. And it sort of coincides a little bit. And the detachment of things, of situations, of, burdens and grievances and grudges, and that we feel like we have to hold on, or else they'll be right if we let it go, or else that job will. It's really important that we learn to let things go, and it's okay to have that energy or that frequency of detachment. So the first one says, allow others to be who they are, and detach the tendency. We always try and fix somebody or correct somebody, or your hair doesn't look right, Jean. Why are you wearing the same necklace again, Jean? Or you spelt Val wrong, Jean. It's we have this need to correct others, allow others to be who they are, and to live out their own lessons, their own spiritual journey, and make their own mistakes, right?
Mm-hmm. And I think the laws of detachment are exactly what you need to be in observation mode. To be in a non-judgmental state is a beautiful place to be, because when you're, as that first card that you had up showing all the different things to look at as opportunities and goals and things that can shift you, that observation mode, that mode of neutrality is that law of detachment. Because when you are not looking outside yourself, looking at what somebody else needs to do, they need to part their hair differently, they need to whatever. Those are just distractions, folks. Those are not real things that you need to concern yourself with at all. So you are getting all up in something that's really not doesn't have any merit for you, and it can actually maybe hurt somebody's feelings in some way. But yeah, and allowing yourself to be who you are and showing up as you are coincides with allowing others to be who they are. Because if you're judgmental of someone else, you're judging yourself too. How are you going to show your authentic self if you're worried about what other people think? You're not going to. It's a building block. The law of detachment, all these things, these key points here are a building block for you to be your authentic self. And that means you're going to allow everyone else to be their authentic self as well. Yeah.
It's I know when people are judgmental or people are critical and people have high expectations of you, that they hold themselves at such a higher expectation. It is they're not allowing themselves that grace, that flow. So the allowing yourself to be who you are is the beginning of allowing others to be who they are.
Yeah,
It
that
really does.
critical voice, silencing that critical voice within, or allowing yourself to go beyond that judgmental voice that is the ego mind. Because yeah, it's pretty key not to do that. If you're going to flow through life, if you're going to allow others to flow and yourself to flow, that whole thing is a phase we go through when we're going through this awakening process. It is something that we let go of, hopefully, pretty quickly. When we learn something new and we think everybody has to do it that way. When we learn something new and we correct people on this, that, or the other thing, or we get on a pulpit and preach kind of thing. All those things are kind of the beginner modes of things. Everybody learns going forward. Yeah, let somebody do their own thing. You do your own thing, and it's all good.
And the next one is don't force situations.
Yeah.
And I think it's followed by solutions will emerge. They go together. And I just love the colors on this graphic as well. Don't force situations. Like somebody says, I'm waiting for my boyfriend. He ghosted me and I've been texting him. And why isn't he calling me back? Does he want to be with me? And why isn't he calling me? And you're forcing the situation and you're thinking that this person is the person you're going to be together with. And I understand the strong attraction and the strong desire and how many qualities that you really do admire and how well you got together, but it doesn't mean you're going to end up together. And if they're not texting you back, it's not that it never will happen. It's just not right now. It's important for us to move forward and to not force a certain situation or wait for that perfect job or wait for that perfect house. Or, it's important to, go with the flow. I keep coming back to that. Go with the flow, you guys. And this is the detachment. This or something better. This boyfriend or something better. Somebody that will answer my texts. This
That's
house
exactly
or
right. And the very fact might be that they are not vibrational match to you, and this is why they're not coming forward. There's something there that isn't a match. So be thankful. However the universe is flowing, it's doing it with you, in coordination with you. You're co-creating your universe. So you are definitely going to be, we'll say, always going to be on the upside of the great things that are coming. So if someone is not orbiting around you the way you want, let that go. That's an attachment that's not going to serve you very well, to be in that kind of a relationship, that kind of push-pull, or that you want that relationship that is soft and gentle and beautiful and orbits around each other in a beautiful way without any effort. It just happens because it's a soul level relationship. Whether that's be with your friends, coworkers at work, no matter what, you are just going to be you, embodying your love and light, whatever you do as you go throughout life. And those who orbit around you will. And you just, you can certainly enjoy life, I would say, on a much higher level when you just allow situations to unfold in a beautiful way. And it will allow you to have the highest vibration of what is coming. The highest vibration. I shouldn't have married that person right out of high school. What was I thinking? If you wouldn't have forced a situation, you might not have gone through that, taken that path. But maybe you wanted to get out of the house and you didn't, you kind of forced the issue in some way by making that be your next step. So in these ways, it reveals your future that you really want to bring forward. And wouldn't you have rather waited for, maybe you went to university and you met somebody great there? You have no idea how many things you're chopping off from you're going down different branches of your tree. In other words, different opportunities and going into different timelines, because you're making different choices, maybe a little bit out of your root lifetime or root reason for being here.
Yeah, and I do feel as though I see these things as being boulders on a string that that holds us down from being in the flow.
Yeah.
When we are trying to force a situation, that's weighing us down and keeping us from being in the flow. If we don't allow for the solutions to emerge on their own and trying to force it, it's almost stopping us from being in our own flow, or from finding that house. Or and
Mhm.
it's okay, it's not okay, it's perfectly acceptable and encouraged to have goals, but
Mhm.
make sure you're flexible, make sure they are malleable, make sure they can change and evolve along the way. Your goal
Exactly.
may be to, own a house. Well, maybe, you never know what could be and how that goal might change.
And and
um
and and when you're out looking for a house, you may find a house you absolutely love, and you may put a bid in, and you may not get that house. But don't go home and go, "Oh, that's my house. That's my house." It's just allow the universe to flow to you what is your perfect home. If that isn't the one, then that wasn't the one.
mm,
So if you don't attach yourself to an outcome, you will be a much more happier and joyful person, because attaching to outcomes, it doesn't mean you can't dream, and but allow that opportunity that the universe can bring you this or something better. Always allow that better opportunity to come, because you don't know sometimes the big picture of everything and everything on your life path, and the essence, the higher essence of you is bringing forward, along with divine source, everything you need. Everything you need is provided.
mhm. And that trust is in that vibration, is in that flow. I
Yes.
promise you, it is really in that flow.
Yeah.
And when we let go, we are brought and offered, and opportunities arise.
Yeah.
I had a client once where she had a boyfriend when she was in her early 20s and fell head over heels. And, he was like the coolest guy and they got along so well, and then he moved away or something, and she said, "That's my one and only love. I'll never love anybody like that again." And she has since never dated again, because and how much of life has she missed out on? And how much opportunity and fullness of life. I mean, she had a beautiful life anyway, but how much more opportunities, how much more love, how much more uh, you know experience that she's prevented herself from
Mhm.
experiencing because of this one way of thinking. But it's hard because it's hurtful and we love so deeply and we know. And that's the practicing the detachment and being brave enough
Yeah.
to pulling yourself away from that and carrying it within your heart, and not necessarily the possession.
Well, be
um,
thankful for those relationships that come in that you cherish. And when they go, be thankful and in gratitude for that relationship that showed you beautiful love and
mhm.
all of that. And know that the next wonderful relationship will be coming in. And you have full faith that the flow will bring that to you, if that's what you desire. And closing off to love is certainly something that is not going to feel that great. You can have other aspects of your life that's going to be going great for you, but wouldn't it be great to have that full experience of everything if that is what you wished? Um, but to proclaim and make a statement to the universe, like you are not going to um,
Or I'll never love like that again, so what's the
you're
use, you
saying to
know?
the universe what you're saying, and you are a powerful being proclaiming to the universe what it is you're willing to accept in or not. So I don't recommend that.
So, the last two are, uncertainty is reality, and embrace it. And I'm just gonna take this down so that we can, chat a little better. But uncertainty is reality, is, be comfortable with the unknown and getting, comfortable with creating. When there is an unknown, we're very regimented, we're very habitual, and we have routines. That's fine. And it's also really important to have an unknown. There is a woman that I saw on YouTube a while back, and she had to do like follow her heart day, and she would take a bus and she would follow her instincts or her intuition of when to take to step off of the bus. And when she stepped off of the bus, she looked left and she looked right, and she just followed which way she was being drawn. And you wouldn't believe, and she filmed it. It was really so spontaneous, so really interesting. She met interesting people and had interesting things happen to her, and things that she would have never been able to plan if she tried. And it was such an adventure and an unknown. And it is, she was in the flow of spirit, and spirit brought these things and opportunities and happenings and new friends into her pathway. And she did it repeatedly. It's so beautiful.
It is. I've seen those groups that actually go out and do that. And I have to say that you are really setting yourself to open up to the beautiful opportunities of the flow. When you're out there doing it like that and you're accepting anything that it comes before you as a new opportunity, it will put before you amazing things, pretty interesting synchronicities and big gifts and a whole bunch of things that you will touch energies and people that you never would have met before, and it will enhance and grow your life in a brilliant way, with that trusting in the universe that everything is flowing to you beautifully. It is a great exercise to do that, for sure, and it does expand one's perspective. Absolutely. Yeah, I love that
It allows you
story.
to trust yourself,
Yeah,
your
it does.
instincts, your own guidance, as well as the universe. And once you do it, and this is the uncertainty.
Yeah,
And when we have a plan and we have a route to work,
yeah,
spirit guides don't have any room to go in there and like put a little surprise in, or let us find $100 bill on the ground, because we're always on the same route. But if we go a different route and have something that unexpected and something that is not automatic and routine, it allows space for miracles to happen,
it
for
does.
things to occur that would be spontaneous and a gift for us.
It
And
does.
I've been told that more than once with my spirit guides, to allow this
Yeah.
different way of doing things, this uncertain, this unpatterned way. And
Unscheduled, then like maybe taking different ways, because what happens is our subconscious mind runs us. We get up in the morning and we're making our coffee or tea or whatever, and maybe we're doing it and we don't even know we did it. It's on autopilot, and then we go, oh, my coffee's, oh, I already got the milk out to pour, whatever. You're realizing, you're catching yourself having automatically done things. And kind of, it's one of those things where you want to take that automatic pilot off and you want to go into exploration mode. So you have to be
trusting.
present
Mhm.
in the moment because it's all unknown.
That's it. You're right.
Yeah.
You
It's,
have to be present in the moment. That's the key, Val. You
yeah.
have to be present in the moment. And this uncertainty is reality, is part of when we do and practice our skills and abilities here, working with loved ones and our spirit guides and angels. We are not certain of anything that is going to come through or to be said, or that's going to come up, or the question. You're like, Gene, how can you sit there and randomly just answer anybody's question? How can you be certain you're going to get the loved one? I'm not certain. I'm trusting in the universe. I'm
Yeah.
trusting in a higher power. I am trusting my own guidance. And this uncertainty, there's, what's going to happen tomorrow? I don't know. When am I going to get to the job? When am I going to get the job? But the uncertainty is where the creativity and the manifestation can happen. We don't have to manifest a silver car with 4 doors, and we just the uncertainty is really where the magic happens. So the
It
more we
is.
can
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you aren't regimented in how you're regimented in how you're thinking or bringing things in, you let that flow happen. No, you're manifesting every moment when you're having these dreams and wishes fly into your head and you're going, oh, that'd be nice. That's actually part of your manifestation process. Just allowing those things to unfold and come to you without expectation allows those miracles to happen, and even something even better might be flowing to you in 5 or 10 years. You'll look back and go, wow, look at where my life is now, um, versus 5 or 10 years ago. You never even envisioned how beautiful it could be, and it came because you weren't rigidly setting the parameters and you let all this flow in, and you allowed for the miracles. Uh, it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely. And the last one on the laws of detachment is embrace it,
Yeah.
and to trust it and to believe it and to um, feel the flow, that when you're in the flow, and when the opportunity arises, it's important to take it because it's an offering. When an opportunity comes up and you weren't planning it and you didn't know if you should I go? Somebody just invited me. Should I go? I don't know. It's an opportunity. It wasn't on my schedule. And, there was another thing that said that the best things that happen in your life are often not on your schedule.
Yeah.
It is, and these opportunities, it is a decision, it is a choice, but choice is where our power is, where our superpower as a human. We have free will choice, and it ignites and it embellishes and activates a certain outcome, or we can pass it by, whichever way. It's our free will. But when opportunities arise and it's something that almost takes you outside of your comfort zone, this is an opportunity for growth and for an experience that will change um, some of the things that have been either stagnant in your life or that have been not growing in your life. Because when
Mm.
we're asked to grow, it does give us a little bit of discomfort because we're so used to the comfort of being one way.
Yeah, I like that you brought that up. There is some discomfort in the unknown. There is no doubt about that. We get a little, it's not your super comfortable, because sometimes we like to know, I'm going here, I'm doing this at a certain time, and then I'm going to meet so and so, and then I'm going to come home. There's comfort in knowing that schedule. But if you're doing something unique, something you haven't done before, meeting people you haven't met before, you're stepping into the field of infinite possibility.
Mm.
So when you do that, you allow yourself to expand, and those stagnant places that you were kind of letting just ferment or whatever, stagnate, those suddenly get filled with light and information from all of this. And then suddenly you get to, there are other places in your life you have activation energy coming in to move you and propel you forward for more things to look at that can shift you and help you grow and see different perspectives of things. But new opportunities bring more um, pathways and connections to the wider world of energy in all levels. Esoterically, you know, in meeting people one on one, in your connection to the multiverse, this is moving you forward. Like, oh my gosh, she believes that everything is flowing as it should. We're going to send her more because she trusts everything. She's going to have more opportunities because she believes everything is flowing to create the highest good in her life. It isn't like that quite, but I'm telling you that because it is your consciousness reacting with the all that is, that infinite field. This is how, we'll say it that way in a conversation with what is going on, but it's all you creating your universe. And of course, you're going to bring in the highest vibration of everything, but you have to let go of what the regimented way you're holding on to your reality now. And that way it can expand and grow.
Yeah. And one step at a time. We're not saying let go of everything and run wild. We're just saying try
I
one
mean,
thing.
I still
Try
have to
one.
get up and have my chai tea in the morning, folks. I'm not giving it up. So, there are things you're going to keep because for you, that's a comfort. That's wonderful. And you're going to keep that practice going. We're just
Try it 1 hour a day,
yeah.
go drive and feel where you want to pull into a parking spot and just follow, try it for 1 hour a day. Try and turn off your devices and just follow where your spirit guide or where your intuition is suggesting or that pops into your mind. You can be in your home. You can go into a closet and take out some pictures. You could be looking at pictures of, when you were in college, and then you might get a call from somebody. You'd be like, how about that? If I was just looking at my phone, I would have never looked at those pictures. It invites in more opportunities, more happenings, more magical experiences, more synchronicities. It puts you into that flow when we follow our instincts and our intuition and our just whatever it is that is pulling us towards it. I love that. I can't remember exactly what you just said, but it was it's a divine opportunity. If we're in the flow, it's uncomfortable to be in uncertainty, but that is where everything occurs.
That's the infinite field of possibilities you're stepping
Yes.
into when you're in the unknown. And what is the infinite field of possibilities? The infinite field of possibilities. So, I mean, that's a miraculous energy. That is anything you can imagine, anything beyond what you can imagine, even more than you can imagine, because it is the super source, divine source consciousness field of creation. So, yeah, you're just opening up to something big, something really huge. Yeah.
So Scott said, that's true. When I went to a meetup about 2 weeks ago, I didn't plan on it and I was uncomfortable, but I eventually came at ease with people and 3 people hugged me and he wasn't sure why.
There you go. I mean, that is really embracing. And that isn't that kind of a miraculous thing? 3 people hugged you and you weren't sure why. I mean, I'd say that was pretty miraculous. If you're going to something and you get that kind of, it is almost like the universe took that opportunity to give you hugs from from people around you. You're being greeted by the universe to say, good job. Good job opening up. It's like that is what they bring you. That was your gift for doing that and more, I'm sure.
And
that.
you can trust that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I see all of you, and thank you all for being here, for being in the chat, and for participating. And you got a lot of absolutely vowels, and love that. Such great lessons, right? Yeah. And we know that we're preaching to the choir. And if one thing in this offering has made you think differently or given you an idea or an inspiration, then this is, or maybe you can pass it on to a loved one.
Sometimes even if we know these things and there's something we learned 20 years ago, hearing them again reminds us, oh yeah, I forgot to implement that. Or even though it is something we all probably inherently know, having it said again and maybe looked at in a few different ways, you're seeing the beauty of it, and you realize some areas of your life where you're not implementing it and where it can enhance everything you're bringing forward for yourself. Absolutely. I'm sorry.
And also, it reminds you of the areas of your life where you have implemented it. And oh, look, I am doing that. That's what I do anyway. I've been thinking that all along. That's the way I look at things now. I don't know when I changed it or how I changed it, but that's how I look at things. I just naturally, I just started doing that, and I'm doing that. It makes me feel better when I do that,
Absolutely. So it's just confirmation and how powerful that flowing through life, flowing and allowing, that is a beautiful, those two, flowing and allowing, just those two words, flowing and allowing, that will really propel you to the greater, higher consciousness goals that your soul set for you when you came into this lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also not just the flow, not just it's the self-empowerment. It empowers us to move on and to take the next step. It allows our soul to grow, and which enriches and empowers us to keep moving forward. It's and I know I'm speaking to the choir here, and that you guys already know a lot of this stuff. I can feel it. And sometimes we can go through our entire lives and never know this. And if somebody would have just presented it to us and given us the opportunity to
Yeah,
consider it, how different our lives may have been. So,
exactly.
um,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're
it's
welcome.
funny.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to pop this in there, and I wanted to share with everybody the, pop this up. Wisdom Seeker Joan and I are offering a class, and it is on clairvoyance, and it's on Saturday, April 19th. And you can learn to connect with and strengthen your clairvoyance, your clairseeing. And it says real small here, beginner friendly and no prior experience required, but all levels are welcome. So it starts at 12 Pacific, which is 3 Eastern, and it's presented by Wisdom Seeker Joan and myself. And it's on Saturday, April 19th. If you're interested, I just popped it into the chat here. Oh, I thought I did. Let me just try and do that again. I'll take this down a second. Um,
Yay.
oh, I didn't hit
Sounds
the
like
little
a
arrow. I did. Let me
great
see. Oh,
that sounds like a wonderful, wonderful class.
um,
And don't be
it
afraid,
is.
everyone. You all have all the clairs. Just go to a class like that, and you are going to exercise those skills, and you're going to go, oh yeah, you can do it.
Well, I think what happened, Val, is I was having my practice group, my psychic practice group,
Yes.
and a lot of people were saying, "Well, I don't know what to practice. I haven't taken a class yet. I'm not sure I know psychic." Where I was even just demonstrating
Yeah.
a how to practice and then letting you, but they were. So I thought, well, there's a need here for a beginners group. So I was.
I think
Inspired to, and I have never did a 2-hour beginners group class, and they're like, beginners, you're really taking it. It's easy, it's wonderful, it's fun, it's exciting, it's you're trying something new, whether uh whether it works for you the
whether you
first time, the
flub
second
up or
time.
think it's your imagination, it is opening that channel even wider. So, I highly recommend that class because that is like a step that bridges the gap between taking like a psychic mediumship class or whatever you might want to take after that. It opens that doorway and you realize, oh my gosh, look at that. I am connected in that way. And don't think you aren't, because you all are, but exercising that muscle it's a powerful step to finding out, to experiencing it. And how fun is that to explore
Hmm.
that? Yeah, it's really fun.
Hmm. And
You
it's fun
find out
just to
you've
get
had
together
this, yeah,
with like-minded people
yeah,
and practice
yeah,
and learn something new. It's a
yeah,
lot of fun, and it is it's a beautiful way of connecting with the community. So I
yeah.
like what Lauren says here. She says it's extremely helpful to hear this kind of information on a regular basis for me lately. All of these upgrades and changes need this information again, and long haulers affecting my brain.
Yeah,
And
exactly. I love that, Lauren. Like you're saying, you need that reminder, that nudge, because we have so much going on. Our brains can't even hold on to information sometimes. We can't grab onto that intellectual stuff that we knew from 20 or 40 years ago to utilize now. We can't even pull it and access it because there's so much coming in. And so to have these little tips, just quick tips and things to remind us, it isn't a talking down to, it's to all of us to remember, oh yeah, I can access it. This is an opportunity. This is a gift. This is something I can do right now to help propel my perspective and grow my awareness. And yeah, for me, I really need these tips in front of me. I need it, and I've been doing this many years. So
yep.
yeah,
It's as we change, our perception changes, and the way we look at things change, and we need to learn it again in a different way because we've evolved to a certain point. Now that we see it, we're like,
yeah,
we can just see it more in a deeper sense. But I love all of the offerings and additions and insights that you brought to the conversation, Val. Thank you so much for being here today and for sharing your wisdom and going with the flow
yeah.
and
Well,
giving.
thank you for the opportunity and coming up with this beautiful conversation to talk about, because this was very impactful for me. Even let me just say, remind ourselves.
Uh, Absolutely. Well, this is the end of our show, everybody. Thank you all for being here. Val will be back. We're going to reschedule for another show together in the future. And we hope to see you again really soon. Magic Monday is tomorrow. And I also have Kelly Cali Healer coming on my show tomorrow. So come on back. And Val, where will you be next?
I have Mystical 4 on Monday. That'll be on Gerald's Tarot Stash channel.
Ooh.
Catch me there at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 Eastern. Yeah.
That sounds like fun. That sounds like fun.
Oh, and Wednesday,
But
Arthur, Ease Your Mind will be on my channel at 6 p.m. Pacific time.
everybody going over to Val Dragonfly Crystal's channel, and please subscribe her Next Level Channeling channel as well. That is really phenomenal. And thanks again, Val, for your time and for your expertise
My
and
pleasure.
wisdom.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. If you enjoy this content, hit like, share, and subscribe. Remember to click the bell to be notified of future videos. Thanks again. Bye.